Hello and welcome again to Investing Success and another of our short video installments on the topic of financial astrology and the financial equity markets. Take a look at a typical ephemeris table. Take a look at the planetary data for Venus. You'll notice that in February of this year, it was midway through the sign of Aries in February. Now, I want you to fast forward and take a look and see where it was in mid-April. You'll notice that it was in the sign of Pisces. It apparently has moved backwards. Now, we know that planets don't actually move backwards. What this is the concept of retrograde. From our vantage point here on Earth, it appears to us as though the planet Venus is moving backwards into the preceding constellation group of stars. And that is so because Venus and Earth are passing by one another at this time of year. And this retrograde event with Venus, typically it takes place every 1.5 years. Now, a strange thing tends to happen at Venus retrograde events. The equity markets all too often have a tendency to exhibit a trend change, and not necessarily for the better. Let's look at a few previous events. Here's a chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Go to the far left of the chart. Venus retrograde event in 2012, the Dow suddenly sheds 1,100 points. Yes, it recovers, but it takes time to recover. A savvy investor, knowing that Venus retrograde all too often aligns to market drawdowns, could have protected himself with a stop loss. Early 2014, another 1,100 point drawdown. Yes, the market again recovered, but it all takes time. Look at the event in mid-2015. 2,000 point drawdown at a Venus retrograde event. Nasty, nasty stuff. Now, Venus turned retrograde March 4th, 2017. Look at this chart here and look at the green arrow. The Dow Jones recorded an extreme high the trading day immediately ahead of when Venus turned retrograde. And look what happened to the trend. It switched from positive to negative, and all total, this Venus retrograde event, which has wrapped up as of today, April 14th, this Venus retrograde event has shed 700 points on the Dow, and it has flipped the trend from positive to negative. Now, a person knowing that Venus retrograde events typically do this could have sidestepped some of this angst and some of this drawdown by exiting the markets and protecting themselves. And so, dear listeners, ladies and gentlemen, such is the nature of what I talk about, what I write about in my astrology e-alert newsletters, in my financial almanacs. There is more to this astrology stuff than meets the eye. This is not just the planets moving around in the sky. I sincerely believe that there are some people who are manipulating the markets for their own benefit, and I do believe they are using astrology as their manipulative tool. Thanks for listening, and if you want more information, you know where to find me, investingsuccess.ca. Take care.